I'm Vinny Politan. Thanks so much for joining us here on Closing Arguments. If you're just listening to me and you're not watching the screen, you need to watch the screen right now. I'm about to show you a video that is extremely disturbing. I will not show you the whole video, but let me describe first what you're about to see. Two teenagers driving in a car, have a cell phone, and they're recording what they're doing in the car. And apparently they're driving around Vegas in the area and striking pedestrians and people on the street. The video you're about to see, there's a man on a bicycle, retired police chief. He's going for a ride. You'll hear these two teenage boys talk about what they're going to do, and then they do it. We won't show the actual contact. We'll take you right up to the moment, and then we'll cut it off, and then I'll tell you what happened next. But first, let's watch this video, courtesy of TMZ.
Ready? Yeah. Hit his ass.
They killed him. They killed him. Flipped over the car, ended up behind him. And what was the reaction inside the car? Oh, let's continue to record this on video. And then what should we do with the video? Maybe we should post it on social media. Maybe we'll get some likes and some followers and some subs. This is sick stuff. Absolutely sick. We have more details tonight from Scripps News, Las Vegas.
Metro Police say 64-year-old Andreas Probst was riding his bike in this lane on the morning of August 14th when two teenagers deliberately plowed into him. The passenger in that car recorded the entire attack, and on Tuesday night, Metro Police announced both he and the driver are in custody.
A cowardly act that in my 22 years of law enforcement left me personally appalled.
That's how LVMPD Deputy Chief Nick Farisi describes the killing of Andreas Probst. According to police, 64-year-old Probst was on his morning bike ride near Tenaya Way and Centennial Parkway on August 14th when two teenagers in a car encouraged each other to drive into him from behind.
Two juveniles joyriding in a car, intentionally hitting and killing an innocent man who was riding a bicycle and leaving him for dead along the side of a road.
The teen in the passenger seat recorded the entire encounter and posted it. That video went viral and has now received more than 5 million views on social media. It's shot from the front seat of a stolen car and shows the teens driving along, approaching Probst as he's riding his bicycle. The driver then pulls into the bike lane behind him, honks his horn, and smashes directly into his back tire. The impact sent Probst flying and left him lying helplessly on the side of the road. He died hours later at UMC. In the recording, the teens could be heard laughing and seemingly celebrating that they had knocked him out.
Later on that morning, the driver of the vehicle that struck Mr. Probst was taken into custody, and he was booked into charges related to the hit-and-run investigation.
Murder charges were added later after a school resource officer obtained the video and turned it into police. But the passenger who recorded it all was MIA until Tuesday when he was arrested. In a press conference, Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson spoke about the crime and the arrests.
In the criminal justice system, if you are a minor and you are eligible to be charged with the crime of murder, you are automatically sent to the adult system. I am confident that that is what is going to happen in this case.
It's what Probst's daughter and family say they're now hoping for after their loved one was taken from them senselessly.
Andy's life was robbed by two individuals who did not believe that lives of others matter.
Now, Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson says he believes both teens will be charged as adults in this case. Reporting in Northwest Las Vegas, I'm Melissa Bethencourt.
And our thanks to Scripps News, Las Vegas, for that report. Now, you also have to know that these two teens, that wasn't the only victim. That was the only one who died. But there were two others that they struck as they're doing all this. So there's a couple of questions I have. First of all, like, what's going on here? What's going on? And then second, what are we going to do with two teenagers in our system of justice? One who's got his hands on the wheel of that car and the other who is recording it all. Let's bring in our think tank. Joining us tonight live in studio, criminal defense attorney, entertainment attorney, and former prosecutor Daryl Cohen. Also with us, criminal defense attorney Meg Strickler. And finally, joining us from the City of Angels, he's in town, Deputy Public Defender, LA County, Philip Dubé. Great to have you in town, Philip. All right, what's going on here? What's going through the minds of these kids?
They have to be drunk.
How do you define evil? I think their acts define evil. And what's going on in their minds? It's all about me, and let's post it, I am assuming, to TikTok. They're going to have followers, but they're going to be following them incarcerated as they spend the rest of their lives in an incarceration period of time.
I mean, honestly, there's we can do as defense lawyers in a story like this. But you asked why did it happen, what happened. If I was defending this case, I would probably bring in, there could have been some alcohol or drugs that, this was 6 in the morning, so maybe they were out all night. You know, maybe sleep deprivation. I am not defending the actions.
No, it's not defense. We're trying to, first we have to explain, like, why this would even happen. Like, how does this enter someone's mind?
And had it been watching too many video games, too much social media, they're teenagers. When kids are that age, their brains aren't fully developed, and they make some stupid decisions because they don't have the judgment fully developed. That's all I got for you.
No, I actually think it's oversimplifying it. What you have here really is what I call thrill killing. That's basically what it is. The question is, what fuels that? Where is that coming from? And there is a large demographic, especially in this country, of teenage boys, typically post-adolescents, that have absolutely no empathy. So what do they do to kind of self-empower? Is they go out and they commit mayhem. They harm people, and it's they get some type of schadenfreude out of it for whatever reason. And it's very hard to get into the mind of a 17-year-old, so you have to look to their family life. What went on in the home that made them feel that they need some type of self-empowerment with inflicting harm on other people, in fact, deadly harm?
I'm looking at it a little differently. Where was mom and dad for each one of those two teenagers? 6 a.m., what are they doing out there? Were they on the way to school? Had they snuck out early? Had they stayed out all night? I think, and I agree, I think we need to look and see where the parents were and why the parents weren't parenting as opposed to being teenaged.
Okay, now we heard the district attorney from Clark County out in Vegas talking about this thing's going to get moved most likely into adult court. 17 years old, we believe both are 17 years old. Let's start first with the driver. Is there any reason why the driver of the vehicle who did what he did, clearly from the video itself, it's purposefully, right? This is not an accident. This is not a moment of passion. This is like, oh, there's somebody, let's run him over. Is there any reason why he should spend a day free the rest of his life?
The word no is spelled two ways, N-O or K-N-O-W. In this case, it's N-O in italics and bolded.
There's no way. I was giving some mitigating to try to give an example or thought process as to how this happened, but you've got video evidence. You know, this happened, you can tell that he's purposely driving into this poor person. I got nothing. And laughing about it. And then the worst part is they drive off giggling. That's horrific.
I don't know that I agree, quite frankly. I think the Nevada system of justice is equipped to rehabilitate kids. Remember, they have, I believe, until the age of 25 to get the job done. They can house them in a juvenile penal institution without having to transfer them upstairs to adult court to just end their lives. Remember, we're talking about 17-year-olds. What gave them that thirst to kill? What's driving it? Is something going on at home, in school?
So you think
socially?
there's an argument to be made that they should get let's start with the driver, right? I want to separate because there's two different things. That the driver should get a second chance?
Well, wait a minute, let's talk about one thing.
Rehabilitation.
Certain states, at the age of 17, you are an adult. You can't vote, you can't drink legally, but you get prosecuted. Georgia happens to be one of those states. I don't know if Nevada is. Should he get a second chance? In my view, he used up all of his chances with one serious.
Well, think about, I'm just going to use Georgia because I don't know Nevada either, but if he gets 25 to life or something like that is what he would probably get here, he would go up in front of a parole board before he's 900 years old. So if he's rehabilitated, like you're saying, then we'll find out. But unfortunately, we all know that when you are sentenced to long periods of time in prison, just like Shawshank Redemption, you can't come out rehabilitated.
Do you see any difference between what should be done to the driver and the young kid, the
Legally,
17-year-old in the passenger seat who is not driving the car but is recording everything.
He could have just as easily been driving
Exactly.
it. He was recording
no
it.
difference?
I
None.
see zero difference.
None. He's
Less than
videotaping it,
zero.
which is even worse. I feel like he's like, look, this is so much fun. We're doing this. Let me get it on camera.
He was the director.
Yeah.
I think the only way you can get that kid, the passenger, is if you can show he was in fact an aider and abetter to the crime. If he's just sitting there filming the whole thing, he's not commandeering, not navigating in any way, then he's really just a witness. That's all he is.
Oh, come on. He's not a witness.
It depends on whose voice.
He didn't stop the driver. He didn't say, don't do it.
I don't
he
think
was
he had a legal
encouraging.
duty.
Yeah, but also
If he had a
once
moral duty.
they
That's
hit him,
different.
duty.
they should
Okay,
have then
but in-
stopped and pulled over and rendered care.
Okay, but he wasn't in control of the vehicle.
I jumped the hell out.
Actually, if you're going to commit a crime, do it as a passenger. You know why? You don't have any culpability.
But no, but that's not the laws. The laws are all about, you know, everything is going to be, both of them are going to be charged the exact same thing.
They'll be charged, but should they?
Yes.
No, yes, they should.
They
Yes.
should be charged,
Yes.
but I do believe that an analysis needs to be done as to whether they should be retained in the juvenile justice system. I'm not saying it's automatic, but they deserve the benefit of that evaluation. Look to their criminal record. Look to the severity of the crime. Look to their upbringing. Look to their education. What kind of record do they have? Do they have a history of truancy? What's going on in their life where they have this thirst to harm and to kill? You know, it's like a serial killer in the making.
How much of an aggravating factor is it that this was not the only person that they allegedly struck that day?
It didn't add, it multiplied.
It's huge. I like your word aggravating factor because that's exactly what it is. It's not like, oops, we ran over him. It's they did other things in addition. And I think the time of day and the stolen vehicle makes it even more criminal. There's a lot of intent there of doing bad things.
Yes, but what can be done to rein that in at the tender age of 17? Just send them upstairs to
Listen,
the
I
adult
got
court.
two
Rein them
teenage
for the
kids.
rest of their lives.
I don't know.
Who
It's
honestly
complicated.
believes that they could be productive members of society?
I'd have to see a psych eval on them first.
I have to agree
Okay.
with that. Yeah, and
have to
honestly,
see
I
it.
don't see it happening because of what they did. I don't believe they deserve a second or a third or a fourth chance.
The criminal act itself is not the driving force in determining whether or not they go to prison for life. It's an analysis. It's sort of like a calculus of several
must not practice
variables
in
and
Georgia.
factors.
See,
I'm
I believe in the KISS method. Keep it short, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid.
what do you-
Keeping it short and simple is they
You
did
didn't
what
call
they
Philip
did.
stupid, did you?
No, I did not. I
Come on
can't
now.
call me stupid.
It's like that old joke. Okay, knock, knock.
I don't know who's there.
Due process.
Who is due?
Yeah, exactly the question. Due process who? Like it's just a footnote or marginalia in the Constitution, okay? Give these kids due process at the juvenile level to see.
They'll never,
You know?
but in real
Come on.
life, they'll never, at least I'm only using my experience here, but we have a thing called SB 440, which is from the early 90s, and it was that concept you're talking about, which is we would analyze the case and see if it would, it's not we, the DA does, decides if it's going to be up in the adult court. And it's like a shoo-in. This kind of storyline would be 100%.
It's 17 in Georgia. There wouldn't be any choice.
No, exactly.
It has to be an adult.
All right.